just of trying to cram everything in. Again, these are really important updates. I want to make sure people have an opportunity to get those updates from each of the departments to focus on departments information, as well as give my colleagues the opportunities to ask questions they need to. So with that, reaching out to you discussing some deeper updates, but to the year updates and get them. So really the effect here is
Good evening, everybody, and we welcome you to Coach's Corner. This is our final broadcast as we bring you the Quincy-North Quincy game. And joining us tonight to review some highlights of the game, Jack Raymer, head coach of Quincy High School, Ken McPhee, head coach of North Quincy High School, and Ken, you brought one of your assistants as well, so I'll let you do the introduction.
This is our offensive coordinator. This is Kevin Corbin. He's responsible for a majority of the plays that you see offensively for us. He's done a great job for us all season.
Well, gentlemen, let's kind of go back a little bit to Thanksgiving morning as you were setting up, as you were getting ready to play each other. Jack, let me start with you. What was your game plan as far as attacking North Quincy?
Well, I don't think our game plan really changed, Charlie. We thought that we knew we could throw the ball, we knew we could run, and that was basically what we set out to do, is what we tried to do. And the field was, I must say, I must give credit to Georgie Page and his people. The field's in excellent condition. If you told us a week ago, I think Kenny would agree, with a foot of snow on the ground. The field was in great shape, it really was. And we really didn't change anything. We just, what happened, I think, was that we had some turnovers. And in a game like this, turnovers will kill you. And I think basically that's what it comes down to. We weren't able to really get going. And North Quincy put it all together. And I think that's what happened. But as far as going into the game, we had our game plan with Cottarelli and with Steve Austin throwing. And Steve threw the ball very well. Just a question of our running game really couldn't get going. Once we did get going, we hurt ourselves with turnovers. And our game plan didn't change. Everything was the same going in. And wasn't our day. The ball didn't bounce our way, as they say.
Ken, as far as the North Quincy end, it looked like it was stop Joe Cottarelli. That
Absolutely. I think that's what our plan early on was, to see if we could stop Joe. He's a fine running back and had done it all year for them. We felt that if we could force them into a throwing game, then we'd have a shot at them. And I think that Stevie threw the ball exceptionally well. A couple of times balls were right there, and fortunately for us and unfortunately for Jack, balls were dropped. But our plan was to stop Joe and see what we could do with the passing game. And offensively, we felt that we could run the ball. We got back a couple of tools this past game that we hadn't had all season. We were going to take advantage of them, and we did. Matt McNamara came back and had an outstanding game, and Mark Smith came back, and he blocked well on the backfield along with Ryan Craig. So we felt that we could run the ball, and that's what we tried to do.
Well, I think what we'll do right now is go to the highlights a little bit early so we can get them all on, and then have some time to talk. We have McDonald's Players of the Week coming up immediately after the highlights, and also Paul Fiella from the Fiella Insurance Agency will be here. He'll be presenting a couple of trophies as well. So let's take a look at the highlights. Let's go back, if you will, to Thanksgiving morning. Veterans Memorial Stadium, and as Jack mentioned, the field in outstanding shape when you consider the snow and the rain we had the night before. It really was in great shape. So let's go back and have a look. North Quincy in the dark uniforms, Quincy in the white.
Y formation. Now Ionello comes in motion.
I think that was John Bowman, wasn't it? This is what we tried to do all day, Charlie. If you looked at our game plan early on, we said that we were going to make them throw the ball and see if we could stop their passing game.
A fine pass by Steve Austin.
Well, Steve has thrown well, and he ended up with some fine statistics for us, as he's done all year.
This is Billy McDougall returning a punt, doing an excellent job.
bid for Adams Shore Seawall. We opened the bid,
Nice play by Steve Gardner, I think.
awarded that to MIG Punt.
This is Ryan doing a good job. They forced a fumble there, but we're alert enough to jump on it.
This week, we've started
I'll tell you, I hadn't seen the hitting that went on in that game. I hadn't seen from our club all season. They really came out to play, and I know Quincy. It was both ways. I mean, they both did it.
That's a nice play by, I believe that's a sack by Tommy Bajork. He's a junior, one of the few juniors playing for us. Had an outstanding game.
So we're into the second quarter now of highlights and deep down in territory.
I'll tell you, that was set up by a beautiful punt by Dave Lawless. He's done that all season for us. He's put them down deep, and we were lucky enough to make the coverage. And this is a great play right here by Paul Hogan and Tommy Dolan and the rest of the defense. We threw just about everyone there is to throw at them, and we were lucky enough to get a safety on this play. That's just that's a host of players right there.
percentage of roads we've done. 5-year project, 5-year capital.
It's tough to pick a play down there, Charlie, when you're 6 inches from the goal line.
That's right. And the wind certainly
Well, we
had
have the
a
wind here,
factor,
I should-
too.
Should have thrown. You can always say that now, right? But I mean, it's tough that close. And,
CIP.
So it is 2-0 North Quincy.
It gave us a big break. That was a big break for us right there.
Roads this year from the water mains, that process, assessing flood roads for paved roads.
Paul McCormick. See, I'll tell you, he's done it all year for us too.
It was a nice return by Paul. He gave us great field position right here. We hoping to go right down the field and put up some more, but had a couple problems, as you see.
Projects we've had,
nice play by Joe Cottarelli playing defensive tackle. He's played everything for us.
Done it all for
He does
you.
a great job.
It's a nice run by Vinny Capone. It doesn't get the ball much for us, but when he does, he runs well.
Thank you, Al.
Made a couple of good runs on Thursday.
Sure he did. He's a good runner. You know, we were lucky to get him back this year also. He did a nice job for us all season long.
Here's Steve Austin to Joe Arnello. It's been our big passing combination for the last 7 games of the year. And Joe had 5 catches for us. And,
This is a big break for us. Brian Campbell jumping on a fumble.
Any other questions for Al?
Just really get us going. Joey Mulvey had a super year, came on strong. And great catch by Michael Ainsley.
I'll tell you, that young man right there, you can hear a lot from. Mike Ainsley did a great job for us all season.
nice play by Mike Easter. Mike is here tonight. He had one of his better games of the year. Tackle for
It
us.
was just tough running by Paul McCormick. Put his head down and ran hard.
You know, it's tough, when they run them this quick, it's tough to comment because it's, but I'll tell you, it's true, you know, there's some good plays on both sides of the line of scrimmage,
Al,
really
thank
were.
you very much. First, I want to thank you, Al, because no matter what time I get in touch with you, no matter what the
There's a
issue
big
is,
player for us, I'll tell you, that's Billy McDougal,
makes sense of
an outstanding football player.
in particular on Elm Street just recently.
Jack, what was the mood? It was 10-0. What was the mood?
Well, I think we still felt we had the winner we could throw, and I think that's what we wanted to do here. And,
You weren't able to.
that we called the bootleg. Steve makes a nice pass here. Steve Gardner makes the catch. we moved down, and then we again with turnovers, and we come down to fourth and well. We missed it twice by about less than 6 inches, but it was a question of not making it. But turnovers again in a game like this. Emotion is a big part of this game, as Kenny and Kevin will say.
Absolutely.
A nice pass to Joe Arnello again. These are big passes for Stevie. I mean, these are 15, 18 yards of whack, and I think this is the 4th down play.
a lot of challenges. And, you know, no matter where we go, there's
I don't think
Uh,
that's a question. Well, look out from the other side. It's a good
So he
call by the
definitely,
official.
you did,
But from our side, looking at the backside, I question that. But and looking from the other side, he did trap the ball. Here's a play.
that was you were calling that the whole time, I saw you calling
He
it the whole
came in
time.
motion towards me, and I told the halfback, I said, he's going to go long, and he did. He's a great receiver, but
That play gave us a lot of momentum going into the halftime. really, I think it set Quincy back a little on their heels. Seeing the last play of the half, getting a 50-yard pass like that. Fortunately for them, and unfortunately for us, we didn't put it in, but it gave us a lot of confidence.
And we have both bands who did an outstanding job on Turkey Day as well. And we have the cheerleaders here, and we compliment them, but the bands do hard work as well all throughout
They're out there all the
season.
time in the cold weather. They're out there practicing all the time and in tough field conditions. And in fact, they get on Kavanaugh Stadium more than we do. I think.
I'd like to thank the Quincy band also because they did an outstanding job this year, Charlie.
We had the Quincy band there first. We will.
I didn't see the Quincy
Yeah,
band.
the Quincy band was there. The Quincy band was there.
No,
Yes,
I
it
understand.
was.
I understand tonight. I understand. I'm outnumbered here. That's all right.
All right, now we're in the third quarter.
There's a touchdown. I'll tell you, it was tough.
When you were that close. David Laws had an outstanding game, as you saw, offensively and defensively. He did an outstanding job. He came to play for sure this game. He's got that type of talent. He's away from football for a year and comes back, and he's starting to gain his momentum again. And I think next year you'll see great things from him.
And that, is that part of the
Part of the big crowd on hand on Turkey Day.
That was nice too, wasn't it? After 3 in a row, I mean, we had some tough weather the last couple of years. This was a great play. I like this play. I know where you got that, Jack.
Well, that's just I must have learned that from Kevin Cobbin, I think. Nice play by Joe, I know.
And that's a challenge too.
On reverse, we're trying to take some attention off of. This was at the end of a drive where Joey Catarelli started to really run the ball, and fortunately we come up short.
It was a big run by Dave Lawless. Kids with just a natural ability to get something out of nothing. He makes a great run.
That was a great run, is right. Wow.
Even better on film.
First time I've seen it from that angle.
It was a nice play by Joey Mulvey. Waits for Dave to clear the defender. Puts it right on the numbers.
If I go into the page 2, when you mention roadway
Oh,
repairs,
14 points. Outstanding.
water mains, and you're saying 2020 you're assessing 40 roads for potential.
Nice play there by Greg Doughton, I believe, in the defense, and that was a turnover that,
Is that
again, Charlie, still even in the beginning of the fourth quarter, we were down by 3 touchdowns, but if we could have, I'm not sure if this is the play, if you could have put one in quick, we never know. Billy Ryan makes a nice play.
Oof, I guess he does.
And then he just, he's looking the wrong way, and
Scott Chansey makes a
makes
super
nice
play.
defensive play.
Makes a tackle, forces a fumble.
Billy
Super
Ryan's
play.
he's done a great job for us this year.
I was calling that on radio. I totally missed the ball. I thought he fumbled on the way down, but as I look at it later, he
That's what I mean. Sometimes it's when it goes your way, it goes your way. When it doesn't things that happen. But Billy's had a great year for us.
Okay, now I have to ask you about what happened, the altercation between both squads, and just if you'd like to comment at all. It's just Kenny.
Well, I think, Charlie, I think it was just, you got two highly spirited teams. I mean, both of these clubs we come in on a lot of hype. Both had similar records. They're crosstown rivals. A lot of things enter into this game. I don't think there's any animosity towards the two clubs now. I just think it's something that happened. And it's over and done with. And it's an unfortunate thing, but it just shows what kind of intensity these kids play with.
Yeah, I do think it was. I think it was the same thing. There's a lot of maybe a lot of frustration on our part, but I think it was something that, as you say, these kids are so emotional for this game, and then when something like that does happen, it's a difficult thing to. But everything was resolved by the coach. I think both coaches did a great job. Both coaching staffs did a great job to avert something that could have been a little uglier, but it's the tradition. It's the Quincy North Quincy rivalry. I mean, as you say, after that, there really wasn't any problems. It was good.
Now, while that was on, you had your touchdown.
Yeah,
I
well, I mean,
want to
again-
give you a chance to talk
No,
about the touchdown.
Joe, I know Steve Austin again. Steve had, I thought, a great day, and
But I just, again,
I was happy to see Joe get the
there's a lot of work that's
touchdown
being done, and although it
to
may
wind
not
up the
be
year,
everybody
which I
wants
think,
to
as I said before, I give North Quincy a lot of credit. They played an outstanding game, and but I'd just like to say that my kids had a year that, after coming back after last year, I was proud of all the seniors, and And I give them a lot of credit. My full captains, Dave Savage and Joe Anello and Steve Austin and Steve Bukowski did an outstanding job. I compliment North Quincy, but I want to compliment my seniors because I think they did an outstanding job. And it's one of those things. Thanksgiving Day games have been, there's been many stories whether you're favored. The worst thing in the world to me at Thanksgiving is to be favored to win the game. Last two games, I mean, I felt that way. But I give credit to all my seniors, and we'll be back. Although, we'll be back against a very strong team next year. We'll get into that next year.
All right, we've got a McDonald's Player of the Week down here. No, he hasn't got his shirt on. Whose is he?
Jack.
Jack. All right, Jack. If you
Michael.
could,
Well, Michael is here with Paul, I think, for the Faella.
All right.
You want to do that?
Yeah, we'll do this, and then we'll do Paul.
Okay. Well,
So-
Michael, I'll tell you, Mike Eastwick has had a good year for us. He's been a two-year starter at defensive tackle and well-deserved. Michael's really done an outstanding job for us. And Mike Eastwick, defensive tackle.
We're going to hand down the hats and the certificate all the way down there.
Thank you.
Mike, congratulations. A great year for you, and you guys, you played a great game, no matter what the outcome on Thanksgiving Day.
Yep.
And thanks for coming down.
Excellent.
Okay, our next player, we'll bring Mike back in just a minute or so.
Okay.
So,
Actually,
our next
I
player
brought a
up.
lot, Charlie. You know, we said, honest to God, it was something that we try to do. I looked at the film, and we just had outstanding performances by so many people. It would be unfair that some of these kids were left out. And I'm going to start from the first one on. We'll start. Boy, I'm glad he dressed like he did. This is our captain, Tommy Dolan. He's not new to the program. He's been on before. He's an outstanding two-way player for us at linebacker. And he was one of the people, along with another player, that put the hit on Joe Cardarelli to get the safety of the 2 points. And just did an outstanding job for us. Tommy Dolan.
Hey, Tom, I think, have you got one of these already? You didn't. Okay, you got the sweatband, or so. Now your mother is going to say, keep the hat on, so no one will see the haircut. You're going to keep it though, huh? All right. Tom, congratulations. Thanks for coming down. I may get one of those myself.
No, Charlie, do yourself a favor. The next young man is another tri-captain. He had really an outstanding football game. We noticed that they had trouble running the ends on us, and one of the real reasons that they had trouble was Kevin Segella. He was storybook. He just did everything by the book, and he did everything well, and did an outstanding job for us at Thanksgiving. So that's Kevin Segella.
Kevin, congratulations, and a great season, and what a way to end it, I guess you can say. Thanks for coming down.
Thanks.
Well spoken, I think. He practiced his speech earlier.
The next young man is Scott Chansky. He's another tri-captain. We brought all three tri-captains because they all had outstanding games for us. Scott was the one who put the hit on, I think it was Ryan on that breakaway, the one we almost scored on. And he forced the fumble. That was a very big turnover, as Jackie said at that time during the game. If they go in and score, it's a totally different ball game. And unfortunately, he made the play. He didn't give up on the play, and he came back and he made a great play for us.
Scott, congratulations. Great game, and thanks for coming down this year.
Thanks, Ron.
Seen you a few times. Thank you.
Okay, as they roll in here.
How many did you bring here? Wow.
6. I think we brought 6, didn't we? 6.
Fair enough.
The next young man I brought, why don't we do Mark first, because he's going to get the other one, right?
Okay.
So we'll do him last. The next young man is, believe it or not, he had his whole season in one game. This young man was not eligible until the final game of the season. But to his credit, he stuck it out all season with us. He did what he had to do to get himself eligible as far as grades are concerned. And I think he needs to be commended for that and the play that he had, the way he played on Thanksgiving Day. He was our spiritual leader, so to speak. He really got us going on this one. He was really the kid that we looked to and did a nice job doing it. It's Mark Smith.
Mark, was it difficult all year? I know you kind of worked out with the team and everything. Was it difficult all year to not get in the games?
Yeah, it was. You know, I came up like I thought as soon as the tournament, I could play, I thought I'd be back to Brookline, but I had to wait till report cards came out, so it was only Quincy that I could play.
You made the big one.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Played well enough.
Made it count.
Good job, man.
What a hat, I'll have to wear it all year.
He's not shy.
No.
The next young man is a junior. He's been here before also. Paul Hogan, he's a two-way tackle for us, although he only played one way this game. He put the first hit on Joe Cardarelli on the goal line. He's played outstanding two-way tackle for us, but we brought back Matt McNamara, who could have just as easily been on this program also. I could have brought 7 on, or 8 or 9 or whatever. I could have brought the whole team on.
No, I wouldn't have had enough bats.
But this young man, you're going to see great things from in the future. He's an avid weightlifter. He's a real football player and loves the game, and had an outstanding season for us. Paul Hogan.
Paul, congratulations. You know, there's a movie actor with the same name.
Yep. Crocodile Dundee.
Sure you get that. Paul, congratulations. Thanks for coming down.
Thanks.
And let's see, is that everybody?
One more.
Oh, we have one more that,
We have our Fiala. Okay, Kevin, can we ask you to just hang in for just a minute, come back, and we're going to bring Paul Fiala. We only have
Someday,
enough chance. Come back in just a minute, Kevin, and we'll ask Paul Fiala to come up. Actually, what we'll do, let me, we're going to get a mic right now, and then,
if I put it on the right way, that'd be good.
and, all right. Okay, Kevin, thank you. We'll get him back in a minute. First, we'll give you the McDonald's Award, and now Paul Fiala from the Fiala Insurance Agency with the presentation. Paul, thanks for coming down.
Thanks for having me, Charlie. Charlie, not sure, is it this one?
No, it's the other one. That's the one.
Are you sure?
Yep, that's the one.
It's this. All right, Dave. For the Thanksgiving Day game, you were voted most valuable player for North Quincy, and congratulations from the Fiala Insurance.
Thanks.
David, congratulations. An outstanding game.
Thanks.
Thank you for coming down.
We don't have too much.
So, I was going to do about 2 minutes with each of you guys, but so many of you showed up.
Sorry, I don't
Okay.
mind sharing it.
Okay, and we have another one. You're doing double duty tonight, Paul.
Yeah, really, I wasn't expecting this.
All right, we have our Quincy players, so we're giving one to each squad. We want to come right down the middle here as best we can. So, Paul, once again, the introduction.
Okay, Charlie. This is Michael Eastwick, correct? I pronounced it right this time. Michael, for Quincy High, you've been voted the most valuable player of Thanksgiving Day game. Congratulations.
Mike, congratulations. Kind of outnumbered over here. Have they been all right to you? Okay. All right, everybody in your best
Only sent us
behavior. the
one
rest
ticket
of you.
tonight, Charlie. They said bring them on.
That's not true.
I didn't know that. Mike did a good job.
Paul, we appreciate you coming down many times throughout the year to present these trophies. I know the athletes appreciate it, and we thank you, and get a little plug in here for the Fiala Insurance
Tell you,
Agency.
Charlie, it's more of a pleasure for me than I think it is for them, because I really enjoy coming down here.
Oh, you met some fine young athletes.
Fine old ones, too.
Real old one.
Even though the gang,
From us young athletes, Paul, thanks very much. For the old ones, thanks for all your help this year.
All right, Paul, thank you for coming down. Mike,
Thank you,
congratulations. And Kevin, come on back. Just ran out of chairs there for just a moment. All right, gentlemen, let me present to you. These are from Keith. Let me give Kevin one. These are from McDonald's, and I don't think we can get a tight shot, but they're 110% little pins for you gentlemen, giving 110% this year for these fine young athletes out here.
Thank you.
Next season, what lies ahead? I know, Jack, you had a senior team. what does the future hold?
Well, we were basically a senior team this year, Charlie. We have 3 or 4 starters back, but we have a lot of work to do. I just think that the way my seniors work this year, if the juniors and the underclassmen can work as hard as they did, then we'll come back and be a very competitive team. That's what it's all about.
I've been up here, we have neglected the roads. We've done a lot of great things in the city.
John Tagliari and Jimmy Kennedy and Bob Noble, and all of our coaches will be there. And I think the kids will rise to the occasion, and we look forward to the off season. Look forward.
We should have in the city for the capital improvement plan, which I'm glad we're doing. I feel like we're getting back on track with the roads.
Team, we're looking for great things from these group of juniors and sophomores coming back. I think, like, what do we count?
We have about 8 returning offensively.
7 on defense. We should have a good nucleus to work with. Again, like Jackie said, we can't overlook the off-season programs that we have to put in and that are in place now, that the kids will perform better next season if they do those things. So we're anxious to get it going. And I'd like to thank our seniors, because there's a couple of times during the season that they could have just packed it in, and they didn't. And they came back and played an outstanding game on Thanksgiving, and they can look at that forever.
Well, before we go, I want to give you these hats. So, Jack, I'm going to give you one, and I want you to give one to John Tagliari.
I haven't seen
Try
John
and-
since Thursday.
Try and do it even here, and
Worry about
I have 2, Ken and Kevin.
I got to put this on Corbin. Corbin hates hats. He really does. I think he's afraid of going bald. Put that on, Kevin.
Thanks, sir. Keep the knee warm.
And gentlemen, Kevin, great to have you here, and Ken and Jack, thank you for coming down and putting up with us every week. We're
our pleasure,
really,
Charlie.
really glad to have you come.
Charlie, before we sign off, I'd like to publicly thank our Boosters Club and my assistant coaches, Kevin being one of them. They've just done an outstanding job for us.
I think the same way. I think we're all in this together, as Kenny knows, and Mr. Dolan and North Quincy and Mr. Perfettio and all the people in our Booster Club. That's what's keeping us going. And hopefully some good things, good times are coming ahead for both schools. But and thank you people, you and Keith and everybody here for this night and everything else. It's a great night. It's great for the kids, and I think I can't believe Dolan has that. But it is. I mean, this is a great thing for the kids, along with Quincy Cable, I think, watching the games. I think it's a great thing. We thank all you people. I'm sure the kids appreciate it, and the staff here. And on behalf of Quincy High, we really appreciate it.
You know, I don't think that a lot of people out there realize that this is done on a volunteer basis. I think they think that you people are paid, and it's not true out there in TV land. They do it on their own, and it's.
Tell by these hats.
I'll tell you, without the type of people that you have working here at the cable station with you, Charlie, and yourself, this community would not be as lucky as it is. We thank you.
I want to thank all you gentlemen, Ken and Jack, Kevin, for coming down. We appreciate it too.
I'm getting used to it. You're a parent right here.
All right, I want to thank, before we go, Keith Nickerson, who wouldn't come out tonight, but he does it. You'll get him out. He does great. He does everything in the back room. He makes me look good sitting out here. He has the tough job, and Keith, sir, thank you, and I salute you. This is our last scheduled Coach's Corner show. As of this point, Keith and I have talked about it, and we will never say never, but our inkling right now is to conclude the Coach's Corner series with this broadcast. Possibility we may come back, do some specials next year, maybe not. We'll see what the off season brings. But if we do not talk to you again, we thank you for 5 years of watching this program and putting up with all that we've done, and to the coaches. It's Coach's Corner, and we couldn't do the show without these coaches. Kenny for the 5 years, and Jack, and before that Bill Maver and Tom Fitzgerald. So I thank Keith, I thank our crew for all the years, and until next time, I'm Charles Ross. Thank you for watching. Good night.
Percentage-wise, Attention to detail is great. This is very important for us. One of the biggest questions I have is since we're talking about gas lines. With the national grid lockout last year, are you thinking about implementing proper gas lines? National grid has been extremely aggressive in trying to catch up. We will have 2 weeks.
Never had more than this for the regular season. I bet they did. It's unbelievable.
I know we were concerned. As we do streets, we give them the list of streets, and if they have to put a gas line in, now's the time to do it. Is there a particular strategy based upon, I remember having conversations offline with you about when do you do a certain street? Do you wait until it's at a certain grade, or do you kind of go?
Still waiting for some.
Main roads, because you have to do very large amounts.
My throat, my head. Testing 1, 2, 3, 4. Where is it?
Upstairs, right?
No, I got a bad cable over there.
Still no monitor here.
Trenches have done right, then we can go in later that year. Is it usually a 6 to 9 month window of settling around that? You know, it depends if you're doing a road late in the year, you want it to settle over the winter time. But, if you do a road in early spring,
Just, I'm a novice. Just grab the cable and walk up there, that's all. Thanks.
Testing 1, 2, 3, 4. Would somebody monitor working? Thanksgiving Day.
Council Cole?
President, through you,
That's
to
connected.
Grazioso. Good evening, Al. How are you? A couple things. I know a lot of ground was covered here in this discussion, so I'm going to try not to rehash it. But again, I want to just kind of point out the fact is that I think about it when I can contemplate just working in public life, being of service to the community. I mean, the reality of the situation is, at least from my perspective, my job is to really deliver a memorable customer service experience that's fast. to break it down and very easily.
10, 9,
I think you personify
5, 4, 3.
particularly when
The only thing I watch is the cable. We can't get.
From the Veterans Stadium, as Quincy Cable Systems and Company would like to wish you a very happy Thanksgiving. For Jim Rendell, I'm Roger Holman. We're at Veterans Stadium, and of course today is Turkey Day, and that means high school football, as the North Quincy Red Raiders and the Quincy Presidents are going to do battle right down in front of us on what is a perfect afternoon for late November in football. Jimmy, both teams moderately successful, certainly from the years past. North Quincy, a very young ball club. Quincy, more veterans. Who do you like in this game?
Roger, I couldn't pick anybody. All week long, people have been asking me who I think the favorite is. One day I'd say North Quincy, one day I'd say Quincy. It's totally up in the air. Both teams have improved over the course of the year. So which team can hold that for today is going to come out on top. But it's really a toss-up.
At this point, if the weather is going to be any kind of a factor at all, it may be the wind, as the wind is blowing very strong from north to south across the field. As you look down on the field, the Quincy cheerleaders and the Quincy band coming out on the field, and very shortly we'll be having our national anthem. North Quincy comes into today with 10 starting underclassmen on offense, and on defense they have 7 returning lettermen. That youth factor is proven to be very costly to them in games when they've had good drives going, been playing well, and the penalties have hurt them and take them out of certain situations in which there's probably another 3 games that they could have easily won this year.
But both on both sides of the ball, Roger, Quincy's had difficulty at the beginning of the year too, putting together, even though they're seniors. But like I said earlier, both teams have improved over the course of the year. North Quincy with their young sophomores and juniors, starting to put it together and overcoming a lot of times North Quincy beat themselves. Get the ball poor field position, a lot of unnecessary penalties, and a lot of times North Quincy hurt themselves. Quincy on the same hand has improved tremendously, especially their offensive line really starting to put it together as far as opening up holes for their backfield.
Well, as you and I covered Quincy early in the year against Brookline, it was probably one of the poor efforts in the years that we've been covering the 2 high schools that we had saw at Quincy School, because it seemed like Quincy was not only beat, but they had quit out there. But since then, they've come around, they've turned their season around, and they're playing with a lot more fire and life on this club.
Certainly, we saw another excellent game against Quincy 2 or 3 weeks after that Brookline game, which was a poor performance. They came back and beat a very good Arlington team, and that was an excellent game. So trying to pick a winner for today is virtually impossible, especially Thanksgiving Day game. It could go to either team. So I expect to see a real close game, and I think it's going to come down to the last possession, right down to the gun.
Well, the North Quincy Red Raider band is marched onto the field, and they're in position. We'd like to, at this time, pause for our national anthem. We're just moments away from the opening kickoff in this 1986 Classic. I'll tell you, Jimmy, you look back about a week ago at this time, and no one could have envisioned what kind of conditions we'd have today for this football game.
The field is going to be a little bit slick, Roger, but it's really in excellent condition. I think once they play, especially if they play a certain area of the field for a long period of time, they'll chew it up. But to start the game, the field is in excellent shape. There's a few slick spots in the middle, but basically I don't think it's going to hurt either team.
Well, just 8 short days ago, we had 8 inches of snow also, and there's no signs of that anywhere.
Roger, there's a couple of key matchups I think that the viewers will want to watch in this game. First of all, the big matchup for the Presidents is going to be Steve Austin against the North Quincy Raider line and linebackers. Steve Austin has tremendous success playing in the Suburban League, throwing the ball when he has the time to throw. North Quincy obviously realizes this, going to have to put a lot of pressure on Austin. If North Quincy can put some pressure on Austin and force him to throw the ball a little bit sooner than he wants, he could be in for a long day. But here again, if Austin has the time he would like to have, and the time that he has had the last 3 or 4 games, he could be devastating to the North Quincy secondary. And along that same line, there's going to be an excellent matchup between Joe Ionelli and an excellent defensive back, Scott Chansky, at North Quincy. Chansky's been the premier defensive back for the Red Raider defense, who's had an excellent defensive backfield. And he's going to be playing man-to-man on Ionelli, and that should be an excellent matchup, Ionelli being one of Austin's favorite targets.
All right, Quincy has won the toss. They've elected to receive. They'll defend to our left. Obviously, North Quincy kicking off. Back deep is Joe Ionello, John Bogan, and Joe Cottarelli. And Cottarelli just needs a little under 30 yards to go over the 1,000-yard marker. There's the whistle. And Kelly kicks off. Nice catch, picked up on the right side by Cottarelli. Brings it right up the middle. A little bit of a hole, gets across the 35, out about to the 38-yard line, and that's where the Presidents will take over 1st and 10 at their own 38-yard line. Jim McCluskey in on the tackle for North Quincy.
North Quincy, another key matchup for the North Quincy is going to be Cottarelli and sophomore fullback and linebacker Ryan Craig for North Quincy. Those two are going to see a lot of action hitting each other.
Gardner goes wide to the left. Austin brings his team set up in an eye. Run left. Hand off Cottarelli, tripped up in the backfield by Tommy Dolan.
North Quincy, Tommy Dolan, the blitzing on that play, and I think you're going to see North Quincy doing an awful lot of it. Again, their main fear is Austin throwing the ball, so to put as much pressure on him as possible, they're going to be sending a lot of their linebackers.
Loss of 2 on the play. It'll bring up a 2nd down and 12. Gardner left. Right comes Ryan. Backs are split. Handoff off left tackle. Goes to Cottarelli. Little bit, maybe back to the original line of scrimmage. In on the tackle, Mike Ainsley.
Also on that side, Mark Smith, 230-pound linebacker, also playing fullback, playing his first game for the Red Raiders, held tough on the defense. And you're going to see Mark Smith on an offensive play the Red Raiders have designed especially for Quincy later on in the game.
3rd and 10 brings up a passing situation. Gardner left. Ryan right. In the slot right is Ionello. Backs are split behind Austin. Now in motion goes Bogan. Rolling right. Losing his footing, trying to step inside. He just heaves it. Oh, nearly intercepted. Almost intercepting the ball is Kevin Segala for North Quincy. Pressure was being put on by Paul Hogan.
Good pressure by North Quincy, and that's what they're going to have to do with Austin. When Austin has that pressure, he tends to throw the ball away. But generally, he's a little bit smarter when he throws it into the dirt. That could have been a very costly play.
North Quincy defense answers their first test. Back deep now for the Red Raiders. Bill McDougall and David Lawless. Gardner back to punt for the Presidents. Kicks away. Short kick. Hits on about the 35. Takes a Quincy roll. Down inside the 30, and North Quincy will take over on their own 29-yard line. Game just underway, 9 minutes, 26 seconds remaining. First possession now for the Red Raiders.
I think what you're going to see the Red Raiders do, Roger, is try and keep the ball on the ground and keep the ball in control. One of the big things to keep the ball away from the dangerous Austin for Quincy is to keep the ball on your side of the line of scrimmage. So what the Red Raiders are going to do is try and control it.
Happus comes to the left. Backs are split. Capone, slot right. Handoff right side is McCormick. He's strung out along the line of scrimmage. Brought down by Rick Smith.
Rick Smith, the defensive end on that side for the Red Raiders, made that play all by himself. There was a big hole there. Smith, the defensive end, strung it out like he was supposed to do. Not only did that, but he made the tackle also. Big play there by Smith.
Quincy's first play from offense, a loss of 2 yards. North Quincy's first play from offense, a loss of 3 yards. Brings up a second down and 13. Full house set. Behind Mulvey. Handoff, McCormick. Not much there. Quincy line pulls it in. In on the tackle, Rob Cabezas.
Big hole that side to the inside, Roger. North Quincy running their play with big Mark Smith at the fullback blocking and Ryan Craig leading the play, but they went inside and the back went to the outside. There was a big hole in the interior line that time, but the back had made the right cut.
Our referee for today's game is Mike Donato from Dedham. Our umpire is Gene Ferris from Milton. Our head linesman is Dave McCarthy from Wakefield, and the field judge is Vin Scarzi from Plymouth. I set on a 3rd down and 11. Handoff right up the middle. McCormick across the 35, checked at the 25, out close to the 30-yard line. Brought down on the play again by Rick Smith. So the defenses prevail here in the early going. It's a 4th and 5 for the Red Raiders. Wallace's kick is up and long. Good kick. Fair catch called for and fumbled by Joe Iannello. He fell on it right away. Joe, one of the co-captains for the Presidents. And the ball's all the way back to the 30-yard line. That's where the Presidents will take over.
Good punt that time by Lawless. Roger, I think what both teams are doing right now is filling each other out offensively on the line, getting their blocking assignments down and so forth. And I think you'll see both teams open it up on their second possessions.
All right, Gardner comes to the right. Slot left is Iannello. I formation. Now Iannello comes in motion. Handoff, second back. Cardarelli across the 30, up to the 35, 36-yard line. Brought down by Dave Wallace.
Nice block in that play by Steve Pekoski, number 56, Roger, to open up that hole in the interior line.
Largest gain from scrimmage brings up a 2nd down, 4. Bill Ryan, slot right, I formation. Iannello comes in motion left to right. Handoff, Cardarelli, up close to the line of scrimmage. Up close to the 1st down marker. Finally brought down on the play by Kevin Segala. First down, Presidents, first one of the game.
President's offensive line firing off the ball. Both times their offensive line pushing the North Quincy defensive line back, and that's what's given the back plenty of room to get the first down. Quincy Presidents firing off the line right now and taking the advantage on the line of scrimmage.
Ryan comes to the right. Iannello slot right. Backs line up in an I. Gardner's wide left. Handoff right up the chute. Bogan. Gain of about 3 or 4 on the play. Mark Smith brought him down.
Here's an example, a straight dive play. Quincy gaining 4, a long 4 yards on a straight dive play. Their line is just taking control of the game right now, and somebody from North Quincy is going to have to come up with a big play to stop Quincy here.
Ryan wide right, Iannello slot right, back set an I behind Austin. Fake handoff on a misdirection play, hit in the backfield. Ainsley in the backfield. Who is that, Cardarelli?
Ainsley in the blitz again. North Quincy sending their linebackers, and Quincy going with a counter play that time, which takes a lot of time to develop in the backfield. And I'm kind of surprised they ran it because they were having success moving the ball against North, going right down the chute at them. As soon as they start the counter plays, which take more time in the backfield, North Quincy's blitzing linebackers are able to get into the play.
Sets up a 3rd and 10. Clock counting down. 5 minutes, 10 seconds remaining. First quarter. Not a slot right is Bogan. Or no, split wide right. Austin pressure. Down and out. Complete to Iannello up at the 44, 45-yard line. Brought down on the play by Ryan Craig and John Pacino.
Again, North Quincy being successful in putting the pressure on Austin. Austin likes to sit back, have time to set up. When he does that, he's got a rifle arm and so forth. Hasn't been able to do it so far, and North Quincy should be getting the ball back here.
Lawless and McDougal are back deep for North Quincy. Gardner back to punt as it's 4th and 6. Has trouble with the snap, but nobody's rushing. Punts it into the wind. A good kick. McDougal takes it on the 20. Running right. Trying to straighten out. Turns the corner at the 25. He's up to the 30. He's down at the 35-yard line as he slips and falls. Nice return by Billy McDougal.
Good execution by the entire North Quincy team to set up that return, Roger, too. A couple of key blocks out there. I didn't get the numbers of the players, but there were some big blocks to give McDougal the running room. Nice play. Nice return by the Red Raiders. And they've got good field position.
Handoff. McCormick across the line of scrimmage out to about the 38, 39-yard line. Mark Smith is in the game now in the backfield, and he lines up alongside Ryan Craig. Misdirection play. Craig's got a hole. Cross the 40 to about the 44-yard line. Brought down on the play by Steve Pekarski. Nice gain on the play. It'll bring up 3rd and short yardage for North Quincy.
First fumble of the game. Yeah, there's fumble on that play, and North Quincy came up with it with a big break for them.
Pappas comes to the left. Eye set behind Mulvey. Handoff first back through Ryan Craig. He's got the first down and much more. He's across the 45, out across midfield. Brought down on the play by Rob Cabezas. Set in a deep eye behind Mulvey. And it's a pitch. Lawless hurdles one tackler, gets down close to the 45-yard line. Brought down on the play by Pekarski.
Big stick by Pekarski, too. Nice hit, nice tackle by Steve Pekarski in that play.
Pick up a 2 on the play. It'll bring up a 2nd and 8. Pappas is left. Handoff right up to shoot. Craig gets just over the 45, inside to about the 44, where Eastwick brings him down. Under 2 minutes to play, first quarter, no score.
Big play by Mike Eastwick, too, because the linebackers were blitzing on their play. If Craig could have broken that tackle and gone through, it would have been a big gainer. Simple dive play, but Eastwick made a big play, fought off the blocker, and made the stop.
Pappas, McCormick, and McDougal check in. Now Pappas and McDougal go wide right. 3rd and 6. Watch them. I formation set up behind Mulvey. Rolling right. Pressure coming from the weak side. He's in trouble, and he's hit. Tom Bjork brought him down for a big sack. Mulvey never saw it coming.
Play took much too long for North Quincy to develop. He had the time. He was rolling out to the right. He was just waiting for the Quincy, one of the North Quincy players to come open. They never came open, and good defense in the secondary by Quincy to cause that sack.
Lawless back deep to punt on a 4th and 14. Ionello back deep. They kick it away from Ionello. Good punt. North Quincy down covering the ball all the way deep inside the 10-yard line and down close to the goal line. Great punt by Lawless. Great coverage by the Red Raiders.
Good coverage by the Red Raiders. Smart playing, letting that ball roll all the way along. Right down to the 1-yard line. Big play by North Quincy.
1st and 10 for the Presidents on their own 1.
So far, Roger, neither team wanting to give an inch one way or the other. We thought it was going to be close, and with the exception of a first down occasionally, each team has one first down. Other than that, the defense has been pretty much in control.
Coach Jackie Raymer wants to make sure there's no mistakes made at this part of the field. He calls for a timeout to talk things over. With 36 seconds remaining, first quarter, there's no score in the game. And certainly no edge either way. 1 first down per team.
So far, the big play of the game has been that last punt by Lawless. Puts Quincy in a very, very difficult situation. Tough to move that ball out of there. And very risky. And both coaches think it's going to be a close game. So safety could be a big thing. So I'm sure you're not going to see Quincy gamble. They're just going to try and grind it out.
We're not going to see any flea flickers here.
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
Not at this point.
You heard it right here. Out on a limb again, Rendell. All right, Austin brings his team back. Backs are split behind Austin. Handoff right off tackle. Not much gain there. North Quincy really clotted that play up in a hurry. We'll call it no gain. 2nd down, 10. Austin brings the squad out. Backs are split. Clock down. In motion. And that's the end of the first quarter of play here at Veterans Stadium on a Thanksgiving morning. The score after 1 quarter of play, North Quincy 0, Quincy 0.
When I was a little girl, my idea of a nice afternoon was to find a quiet corner and an adult who's reading a story. Reading is a habit I picked up early, and I'm glad I did. These days, I do my reading for myself, and quiet corners are harder and harder to come by. A good book is still hard to beat for information or just for fun. After all, if I didn't read, how could I read these cue cards? Whatever you read and whoever you're reading to, take a little time to read. Remember, reading is all American.
All right, we switch other ends of the field here at Veterans Stadium, and now Quincy will have the wind at their back for the remainder of the half. Second down, 10 for Quincy. Gardner comes to the right. Ryan left along with Ionello. Handoff in the backfield, flags down, and it's a safety for North Quincy. Let's check the penalty. From where the flag came, I'd say it's against the Presidents.
Look like motion call against the Presidents, Roger.
One of the guys in that backfield was Paul Hogan. The 2 points is going to stand up, and in the opening play of the
line, very, very hungry and very aggressive. The whole off defense just Again, I think Coach McPhee, in between the periods, told him, he says, let's go after him. They're not going to throw the ball down here because everybody was coming in Quincy, and the defense was just swarming all over Quincy, and that's what caused the safety. It's going to be a big 2 points in this ball game, Roger, with both teams as closely, as evenly matched as they are.
Now, on a safety, what happens is Quincy has a free kick from the 20-yard line, so Lawless will probably come in to punt. Check that. It'd be Gardner into punt. And North Quincy's defense plays it as that. Back deep for North Quincy, Mark Loonan, McCormick, and I think it's Vin Capone across the way. And Quincy, not with enough players on the field, yelled for Joe Cararelli to get in there. And now they should be just about all set. Well, 10:53 to go, first half. North Quincy's on the board, 2-0. It is Vin Capone across the field in triple safety. Gardner will kick from the 20, and North Quincy. Now remember, the wind is behind Gardner's back. He's had 2 other punts, and he's had to kick into the wind. So if he gets it up in the air, he should get some good distance on this. Get him up. Coming down to McCormick at the 38. 40, 45, 50. Cross midfield and down to the 45-yard line. Great run by McCormick.
Good blocking by the wedge on that time, too, Roger. They formed a good wedge right up the middle, and Ryan Craig, Timmy Kelly in there, and the rest of that wedge just rolled Quincy over and gave McCormick that first 5 yards he needed.
Finally, Pekarski brought him down, but not until he reached Quincy territory at the 45-yard line. Happus comes to the right. Ainsley in tight left. Backs are split. Behind Mulvey. Hand up McCormick. Decked into the backfield. Great hit in there by Cardarelli. He just stood McCormick up on a 3-yard loss, knocked him back, and finally Ricky Smith brought him down.
Big hit by Joe Cardarelli, and again, a steady performer on both sides of the ball for the Presidents all year long. And he's going to make a lot more before this evening's through.
Great lighting. Second down and 15. Loss of 5 on the play. McDougal goes wide left. Backs are set an eye behind Mulvey. Hand off. Ryan Craig across the 50 down to about the 48. Mike Eastwick in on the tackle for the Presidents. Capone and Happus check in for North Quincy.
Wind being gusty, 3rd and 3, you'd think North Quincy would want to throw it normally, but tough to throw the ball against this wind.
Happus right, Capone slot right. Backs are split behind Mulvey. And it's a reverse. Capone's got it going around the left side. He's got the quarterback out in block front of him. He's at the 40. He's at the 35. Down inside the 35 to about the 32-yard line. Nice call by the Red Raiders. Shoot up a chunk of that 12 yards, and they're going to be a little bit short. 4th and about 2.
I think you'll see the Red Raiders go for it at this point. Try to put a nail in the coffin here against the Presidents. Big block that time by the quarterback, Joe Mulvey, leading that double reverse.
Textbook block. North Quincy, 4th and 2. They want to talk it over. So the Brain Trust will meet on the far side of the field with a 4th and 2 facing the Red Raiders here. So what's in the back of the mind of Mr. McPhee?
Well, he had a play designed with that, with Mark Smith, that big fullback, the 230-pound fullback, and Ryan Craig leading through a straight dive play, a power dive. And I wouldn't be surprised if he used it at this point because he's got that Ryan Craig, that big fullback, leading the way with McCormick carrying the ball. They ran it twice today already, but both times the lead blockers have, here he is, Mark Smith, number 39, the fullback, is in the game. So I think you'll see that straight dive, power dive.
That Smith is a big kid. He's almost the size of you.
He's bigger than me, right?
Not quite the reputation yet, though. All right, let's see if Jimmy calls it. North Quincy comes up. Ryan Craig's back there with Smith. Mulvey calling it. Deep back is McCormick. Handoff. Mulvey's got it on a keeper, trying to get around the right corner, and he's tied up. A great defensive play by the Quincy's Rob Cabezas. He was not faked out at all. They went with the play that Jimmy had called earlier, and then Mulvey kept it on a keeper, but right out there, holding that corner spot was Cabezas and turned it in actually for a loss.
Big play by Cabezas. Didn't go for the fake, stayed home and did his job. That shows the experience that that Quincy has picked up over the year. Didn't go for the fake, stayed at home and did his job. Good play.
Gardner in tight to the left. Ryan goes right. Slot right is Ainello. Oh, it's a pass backwards, picked up by Cardarelli. He's decked by Ryan Craig, and also in on the tackle, Mark Smith.
Good coverage by Mark Smith that time to fight off the blocker and force that to the inside.
That pass was actually backwards, and if it wasn't completed, it would have been like basically the same thing as a fumble. Good catch out there by Cardarelli. Ryan in tight to the left. Ainello slot right. Now Gardner goes wide right. Backs are setting an eye behind Austin.
Gonna put it up.
Back is Austin, throwing down. Oh, right into the hands of Gardner, and he couldn't hang on to it.
That gives you an idea, though. Right in Gardner's hands. Austin had time to set up that time, threw a bullet right into the receiver's hands, and Gardner unable to handle it that time. But here again, I think that's the first time that Austin has had the time to throw, and he did get it to the receiver.
All right, that'll bring up a 3rd and 11 for the Presidents. Ryan goes to the right. Now wide left is Gardner. First time he's lined up wide left. Backs are split behind Austin. In motion goes Bogan. Back to pass is Cardarelli over the middle, and it's complete to Ainello at the 45, across midfield and down into North Quincy territory. Ryan Craig in the tackle. First down, Quincy.
Big call by Jackie Raymer that time, realizing that North Quincy is trying to put the pressure on Austin and blitzing their linebackers. He attacked them right in that linebacker zone, released his back through the line, wide open. Big call. I got to give the coach the credit for making that call, Roger.
Bill Ryan, wide right, slot right, now in motion, goes Bogan. Pitch back, Cardarelli loses it, and recovered by North Quincy's number 71, Brian Campbell. The pitch was just a little bit behind Cardarelli. He couldn't get his footing to fall on it. Big break right there for the Raiders, because you kind of felt Quincy was gaining momentum.
Yes, Quincy opening up their offense a little bit, and when they do that, they're very dangerous, and I'm sure they're going to continue to do it the next time they get the ball. But right now, North Quincy's going to just try and grind it out, run that clock down, and come down for another score.
We'll spot the ball on the 47-yard line of the Presidents. Backs are split behind Mulvey. Option pass, Mulvey down over the middle. It is complete to Ainsley at the 40, the 35, the 30, the 25. Inside the 25-yard line. Great call by North Quincy. Brought down on the play by Vin Capone. First down, Red Raiders.
Good call by Kenny McPhee, and the Red Raiders, good execution. Again, I think they caught me by surprise. I know they caught me by surprise, but they caught the Presidents by surprise. I thought North Quincy would try and run the clock down, but they're going for the juggler here.
Ball spotted on the 18-yard line, 1st and 10. Lawless is in a slot left. He gets the handoff, coming around right wing, cross the line of scrimmage, hurdles one guy, dives forward, close to the 10-yard line. Brought down on the play by Gardner.
Another large gain. Red Raiders offensive line doing a big job here now. That was a big hole that time for Lawless.
Gain of 7 on the play. Smith, McCormick, check into the game for the Red Raiders. Ainsley goes to the left. McCormick, Smith, and Craig Ryan line up behind Mulvey. A handoff is to Smith. He gets up about to the original line of scrimmage. Maybe a gain of 1 on the play. Brought down on the play by Pekarski.
The refrigerator in North Quincy, Max Smith, 230-pound fullback. Not too many of them in high school.
Fashion trend. Clock counting down, just over 6 minutes to play. Ainsley left. A check at Ainsley right. And now North Quincy wants to call a timeout and talk things over here with a 3rd and 2. They basically got 2 plays here to get the first down.
Yeah, they'll be going for it too, and I think it's a wise choice because, first of all, North Quincy had 12 men in the field. They were obviously confused at the line of scrimmage. Steve Happus noticed that when it wasn't sure whether he should be in or out, so he called a timeout. Smart play because they could have put themselves in serious trouble with a penalty here. So here again, it shows the maturity that both teams are virtually penalty-free, Roger. We've had 1 penalty so far, and both teams over the course of the year have been really riddled with penalties.
And that penalty was declined. So officially, the one on the safety does not even get recorded. 3rd and 2, 5:57 to go. First half, Red Raiders are on top, 2-0.
It shows you the maturity of both teams, how well they have matured over the course of the year. And also, a lot of times penalties are lack of concentration on any given play. And certainly on a Turkey Day game, there's no lack of concentration on either side of the ball.
Good crowd has gathered here today. Beautiful weather. Conditions couldn't be any better. North Quincy comes out. Casey's in tight left. Full house set. Dive close to the 5-6 yard line. Good enough for the first down. They'll bring up 1st and goal for the Red Raiders. Brought down on the play again by Pekarski.
Okay, this is a big play time for the Quincy Presidents. Somebody out there is going to have to come up with a big play and a big stick in order to stop. North Quincy has the momentum. They're moving the ball. They've got the lead. Quincy is going to have to come up with a big play. Somebody out there is going to have to become a leader and cause the big hit. Throw North for a loss or cause a fumble.
1st and goal at the 7. Full house set. Wallace is the deep back. He gets the handoff. 2 men blocking in front of him. Down inside the 5. He dove, got to about the 3 or 4 yard line, and then he was sent back. Brought down on the play by Mike Eastwick.
Big hit by Eastwick that time, too. But still, North Quincy on each play is getting a little bit closer, They're going to have to come up, Quincy's going to have to come up with a big play.
We're going to call it 2nd down and goal to goal at the 3. Full house set again. McCormick is the deep back. Smith and Craig. Handoff, touchdown, North Quincy. Smith with the score.
McCormick that time, Roger. McCormick had the touchdown. They ran that play that they had designed especially for Quincy with Smith and Craig going into the game. Knew that was going to be a big play for him, and it scored that touchdown.
Like having an extra 2 down linemen.
Exactly, and you got Ryan Craig, just a hard-nosed, tough kid. Big Mark Smith leading the way from McCormick. It's a tough play for Quincy to stop, and obviously they were unable to do it that time.
And Smith gets down there, he kind of blocks out all the other numbers.
And the other thing is they're running that ball right over Tank McNamara, who's first time he's been back in 8 weeks. Big offensive tackle for the Red Raiders.
All right, 2-point conversion. McDougal was in motion. Now he squares out. It's good. And with 4 minutes and 51 seconds remaining here in the first half, North Quincy Red Raiders have gone on top by a score of 10-0.
Nice drive by the Red Raiders. The first play, or that big pass play to Mike Ainsley, was the one that set it all up. Then they just grounded out and took control. They took control over the line of scrimmage, and a good drive. But believe me, Quincy is yet to be heard from, and they got the ball now. They're going to put the ball up. open this game up a little bit, and you watch what Austin and the Presidents can do with the ball. I think you're going to see them move the ball right here and now. But, you know, just between Roger, this is the first time that North Quincy has had Tank McNamara and Mark Smith to play for him in the last 8 weeks. And those two players there just added about 600, almost 700,
quarter of a ton at
500
least, yes.
pounds of players between those two guys.
Back deep for Quincy is John Bogan, Joe Cottarelli, and Joe Anello. A squibbler picked up by Greg Dolan, and he doesn't get much back in return, but good field position for the Presidents at their own 35-yard line.
Shows a little respect for the Quincy deep backs that time, squibbling that ball on purpose. That was done on purpose. It wasn't a poor kick by Tim. Now watch Austin. I think he's going to see the red. They opened it up last time and they came up with that fumble. Barring any mistakes like that, I think you'll see the Presidents open this game up a little bit also.
Ryan to the right, Ionello slot right, backs are split behind Austin. Fake hand off to Cottarelli. Rolling right is Mulvey. Check that, is Austin, and he's brought down. Great play on the open field out there by Kevin Segala, who fought off the blocker and came in and got Austin for a loss on the play.
Fought off two blockers that time, Roger. Both backs were double teaming him, and he got through both of them to make the play. And big play by North Quincy's defense.
Austin not able to see him, but as that play developed, Ionello was running a deep post across the middle. He couldn't get the ball to him. Ionello now lines up in a slot right. In motion goes Cottarelli. All right, check that. That's Bogan. Back is Austin. He digs one right into the numbers of Gardner. No way he was going to drop that one. Excellent play pattern. That's the one he dropped earlier. This one, he made sure he caught it before he went anywhere. Actually, his knee went down at the point of the catch. So it's a first down, and it'll spot the ball on the 46-yard line of Quincy.
Both times wide open, too, Roger. That hook pattern, you're going to see Quincy come back to that again and again.
Ryan and Ionello line up right. Bogan in motion. Hand off right up the middle. What a great hit. Paul Hogan right there with the handoff, and he dumps Cottarello.
Paul Hogan on a big hit that time.
2nd and 10. Clock counting down. About 3:15 remaining. First half. Gardner comes to the left. Ryan goes right. Way left is Ionello. He'll get single coverage out there with Scott Shansky. Rolling. Austin looking. He's going to tuck it in. And he's rode out of bounds by Segala and Smith. That's Smith over there, boys.
Smith playing on both sides of the ball. He was even on the kickoff team.
He's worked his way into the program rather quick.
Yes, he did. He's getting a whole season's of playing rate, a whole season rate in this one game.
All right, big play for the Presidents. 3rd down and 8. North Quincy's on top by a score of 10-0. Ryan goes right. Ionello goes right. Gardner lines up inside left. Eye set behind Steve Austin. Now in motion goes Bogan. Back to pass. Here comes Ainsley on the pressure. He gets it. It's complete to Ionello. Oh, it's complete across the 40, inside the 40, down to about the 37-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Presidents. Brought down on the play by Ryan Craig.
Mix up in the Red Raiders defensive backfield that time. Ionello wide open. wide, nobody near him, so there had to be a mix-up because there were only 3 receivers out. And there's just a mix-up in the defensive backfield, North Quincy, and that has cost them daily in the Brookline game, their defensive backfield not having their signals together.
Ryan in tight left, Ionello in a slot, now coming in motion. I set. Handoff, second back Cardarelli, trying to turn the corner. He bulls Chansky over, and then Chansky bulldogs him down to the ground. Little Scott Chansky says, I'm not going to let this big guy run over me. I'm taking him with me.
And Cardarelli does like to bull people over. He's one of those guys that likes to put his hat down and meet the tacklers head on. He doesn't try and duke them or go around him. He tries to go through them.
All right, pick up a 4 on the play. It'll bring up a 2nd and 6. Ryan is wide right. Ionello, slot right. Back, set an eye one more time. Fake handoff. Going, it is complete. A deflected pass and a great diving catch.
Incomplete, he trapped it.
Oh, incomplete?
He trapped it.
All right, they say it's an incomplete pass. Great effort by Ionello out there as it was deflected off one of the North Quincy defenders.
The official standing right there on top of the play, Roger, and he said he did trap the ball, but good heads-up play, eh?
You gonna believe that?
I'm going to take the official's word for it right there.
That's the first time in his career. It sets up 3rd and 6. We had one earlier. Quincy answered the call. Let's see what happens now. Ryan's to the left. Gardner, wide right. Watch the turnaround play. Slot right is Ionello. In motion goes Bogan. Back to pass is Austin. He's looking for Craig, and it is incomplete again. Same play, Gardner. He lines up wide right about 10 yards, goes down about 10, 12 yards, and just turns around.
And what a hit Brian Campbell, a tackle for the Red Raiders, put on Steve Austin as soon as he released the ball. You know, Austin feeling some pressure from that North Quincy line right now, and Austin got a taste of dirt that time. Brian Campbell, big hit.
All right, 4th and 6. Ryan to the right, Ionello slot right. Hogan now goes to the right, so 3 men lined up on the wide side of the field. Austin comes back and says something to Cardarelli. He's going to roll left. It's a look to Cardarelli. It is complete, and he's knocked out of bounds. I don't know if it's close enough for the first down or not.
Just shot.
First down, North Quincy Red Raiders. They take over on downs.
Austin's got the arm, and he's got some good receivers that can get open, and they're going to continue to move the ball. Next time they get the ball, that's the kind of game they like to play, is put it up in the air a little bit, and this game is far from over.
Happus is wide left. Backs are setting an eye behind Mulvey. Handoff, second back, McCormick. Ryan Craig leading the blocking, coming through the hole. Brought down by Bob Herman. McDougal goes wide left. Pick up on the play of 6 yards. 2nd and 6. I set again behind Mulvey. Hand off right up the chute. Ryan Craig gets up across the 35 to about the 38. Clock counting down. Less than a minute to play, first half. McDougal, wide left. I set again. Handoff. McCormick, first down. Across the 45, out. Checked at the 40, out to about the 44-yard line. Rob Cabezas in on the tackle. Clock counting down. Could be the last play of the half.
I wouldn't be surprised to see North Quincy put the ball up in the air the last play of the half here and try and go for 6. I just saw McDougal and Happus come into the game a little bit on the excited side. So.
Happus on the left, McDougal in motion. They get the snap away. McDougal going deep, trying to hit it all. McDougal complete at the 40, the 35, the 20, inside the 20, at the 15. There's no time showing on the clock. That's the end of the first half of play. You called it, Jimmy. McDougal catching the pass down the sidelines from Mulvey. Took it all the way down to about the 17-yard line. just couldn't quite get it in. We're at halftime here on Thanksgiving morning. The score is North Quincy 10, Quincy 0.
No.
Yeah, there's more than one line. You should give it to me, though. Okay, I'll get it all.
for a half.
south of Bay.
Welcome back to Veterans Stadium. Roger Holman and Jim Rendell on hand for second half action. At halftime, North Quincy's on top by a score of 10-0. Back deep, Mark Lunan, McCormick, and Vin Capone for North Quincy as they'll receive the ball here in the second half. Quincy's kick is underway. Gardner gets it to McCormick. McCormick right up the chute across the 30-35 yard line and out to about the 37, where the Red Raiders will take over first and 10, leading in this game by a score of 10-0.
Well, for the Presidents to get back in the game, Roger, it's going to have to start with their defense. Defense is going to have to stop the Red Raiders, get the ball back in the hands of the offense, and that'll give the Presidents the opportunity to get back into it.
Apis comes to the left. Capone slot right left. He goes in motion. Pitch back to McCormick. Round right end. Gets a block, and then he railroaded out of bounds. Nice play, and knocked out of bounds by Ricky Smith.
Ricky Smith with another big hit, a couple today so far. And that's what the Presidents need on defense. They need a couple people to take charge out there and really come up and make some big sticks and possibly cause a fumble or at the very least a play for no gain.
Okay, gain on the play of about 2. Brings up 2nd and 8. McDougal comes to the left. And in motion is Durgan. Off right tackle, McCormick gets up across the 40 to about the 45-yard line. An official timeout. McCormick's hurt. Looks like McCormick's okay as he walks off the field.
Let's go, team! 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 Let's go, team!
Apis is wide left. Backs are setting an eye. Behind Mulvey. Handoff. Second back through is Wallace. He tries to hurdle the pile. Not much on the play, maybe 2-3 yards. It was 3rd and about 3, so it's going to be close.
All depends on the spot of the ball by the official here. They gave him the forward momentum, and it's going to be close.
We're going to have a timeout here for an official measurement.
I think they're going to be just shot. Inches shot. Well, this is a big measurement for the Presidents to get back into this. If they can get the ball back and with some time to move it and so forth, they certainly have the capabilities of throwing the ball and moving the ball.
First down, North Quincy by inches.
And North Quincy doing just what they want to do. Eat up a little time on the clock, keep the ball out of the hands of Austin, and keep the ball moving on the ground. And they keep that clock moving.
Go, Tormey! Come on! Tormey!
North Quincy comes out with Happus to the left. Durgan in the slot in motion. Handoff is the Lawless. Good run by David Lawless. Across the 45, down inside, close to the 41-yard line.
Nice run by Lawless, Roger. That play was designed to go a little on the outside. He cut back to the inside where he saw a hole there, and then he just carried 2 or 3 tackles for the first down. Big play by Lawless. And again, North Quincy moving the ball on the ground.
Ainsley lines up in tight to the right. Capone slot right. Back split. Handoff right up the chute. Ryan Craig. First down. Still chugging. Still diving. Inside the 35 down to about the 32-yard line. Brought down on the play by Pekarsky.
Nice run by Ryan Craig. Good leg drive. Good fullback will do that for you. Leg drive just kept those legs moving, carrying blockers for a nice 8-9 yard gain. And Red Raiders moving the ball well. Quincy's going to have to come up with some defensive plays here. Somebody's going to have to make a big play for the Presidents.
Apis wide left. Hand off, Ryan Craig.
First down by the Red Raiders, Roger. They're just continuing to move the ball. President's going to have to make some hits. We haven't seen a good hit this half. All they're doing is arm tackling and wrestling the North Quincy backs down. They can't do that. The backs are too big and strong, especially when you're talking Lawless and Craig. Big, strong athletes, big, strong. They're not going to go down with an arm tackle. You're going to have to stick them. And if the Presidents don't start to stick somebody quick, they're going to end up in the short end of this game.
Quincy takes a timeout. Calls a timeout to set things here.
Well, this is it. Jack Raymond knows that if North brings the ball in, it's going to be virtually impossible to come back. He's telling his defense they got to start playing ball now.
McDougal, wide left, in motion goes Capone. Handoff McCormick, big hole, into the secondary. Joe Iannello in on the tackle. McCormick down again. He's hurt again. This one looks a little more serious. Working on the left knee.
He went down kind of funny, Roger. When he got hit, he was twisting for that extra yardage and so forth. And when you do that, knees are very susceptible for injuries in that position.
Ball spotted on the 20-yard line. Another first down.
And North Quincy just running straight power at him. Nothing fancy. Nothing, no trick plays, no counters. They're just running power football down him right now with Craig, their lead blocker, and Quincy unable to stop him.
McCormick gets helped off the field. We hope he's okay. Great athlete. Apis is wide left. In motion. Goes Durgan. Handoff Lawless. Goes to the middle, then ducks outside. Turns and dives forward. Another big gain on the play.
North Quincy just moving the ball very easily, and it's close to the goal line now. Offensive line really taking charge out there. That time Dave Lawless had the opportunity to stand back in the backfield, not actually stand, but pick his hole. There's no pressure on him whatsoever, and Lawless found the hole and got another quick gain for 9 yards. But the President's defense is not being aggressive. They're sitting back and they're taking what North Quincy's giving them. They got to get aggressive and force some action on the line of scrimmage and over it.
Well, somebody called for a timeout. And now it stopped at 7:24 as the clock ran down for about 15-20 seconds after the timeout was called. But the official timekeeper should make that adjustment. Ball spot on the 11-yard line brings up a 2nd and 1 for the Red Raiders. Big first down gain by Lawless.
Quincy has not made a good stick yet. The second half.
Ainsley to the left. Full house set. Last back is Lawless. He's got a big hole on the right side. Gets the first down. Dives forward. Close to the 5. Brought down on the play by Rob Kobizis.
Even at that, though, Roger, Lawless was never stuck. He was never hit. Nobody on the Quincy side right now is really coming up with any big hits, and they need that. They need a leader on defense to come up with that hit. Who knows? The ball could pop loose, and you can get right back in this.
The tackler. They just had him around the leg.
That's-
Dragged him forward for about 3 yards before help was there. Ryan Craig up over the 5. It's first and goal to goal at the 5. Gets down inside it to about the 4, maybe the 3. Great opening drive here by the North Quincy Red Raiders. All on the ground. Second and goal at the 3. Full house set. Smith, Ryan Craig, and Lawless. Deep back is Lawless. And that time Quincy got in behind the blocking. Flags are down on the play. It's only the second flag we've seen in this game. Evidently it's against Quincy. Kind of explains why they got in behind the blocking. Offsides against the Presidents.
Well, nobody wants to see that penalty against the Presidents, but at least it's some sign of aggressiveness, which they really haven't shown on defense this second half. They need a big big play here. Somebody really going to make a big stick. And they got Mark Smith back in the backfield with Ryan Craig, Mark Smith,
and Lawless. Quarterback sneak. Down close to the goal line. Evidently not in.
With that backfield North Quincy has now, they probably average about 210 pounds in the backfield. Bigger than a lot of pro teams. The backfield with Wallace has got to be 220, and Smith is 230. Craig 195.
All right, third and goal to go at the 1. Mulvey. Handoff. Wallace dives. Touchdown, North Quincy.
North Quincy taking control here in the second half. Move the ball down the field very impressively, consistently. Giving the ball to different backs. McCormick carrying the ball, Lawless carrying the ball, Barry Craig carrying the ball, consistently mixing it up. Move the ball down, eating time up on the clock, and most importantly, keeping the ball away from Steve Austin and the Quincy's offense. And most importantly of all, putting another 6 on the board.
And also eating up half.
Exactly. I mean, just what they wanted to do. Grind that ball out, need it. Work their game plan to the T. And I'm surprised that Quincy wasn't a little more aggressive on defense to at least contest them. But every time they had the ball, I mean, North had 2nd and 1 and 2nd and 2 for the entire drive. It was they made it look easy, North Quincy did.
All right, 2-point conversion for the Red Raiders. McDougal and Hampus go wide right. Ryan Craig's in a slot right down over the middle. Intended for Hampus, incomplete. And the score remains with 5 minutes, 38 seconds remaining here, third quarter. Here are the Red Raiders of North Quincy 16, the Quincy Presidents 0.
Roger, that's a big 2-point conversion now. With if North Quincy had got that, that would have meant that Quincy would have had to score 3 times in order to win this game. Quincy can still score twice and tie it. They can get 2 touchdowns and the extra points.
Well, Coach Raymer obviously didn't instill the feeling that they were down 10-0 at halftime to the defense. Now we're going to look at how fired up his offense is going to be, because they're going to have to march the ball down the field rather quickly and conserve that clock. Triple safeties back deep. It is caught by Bogan, and not much of a return as he brings the ball back just across the 30-yard line, down to about the 31. McCluskey in on the tackle.
Yeah, the Quincy offense very capable of making things happen, but when you put the ball up in the air and you open your offense up like Quincy is expected to do right now, the things that happen are not always good for your team. And North Quincy, knowing this, with Chansky and the defensive backs that they have, they're going to be looking for the ball in the air also.
Ianello slot left, I formation, pitch back. Cottarelli turns the corner, dives forward, up close to the 40-yard line.
Nice run by Cottarelli, lowering that shoulder and getting an extra 4 or 5 yards just on that last effort by him.
All right, Quincy comes out. Bill Ryan, right, slot right is Ianello. I set behind Austin. He pitches again. This time Cottarelli around left corner. Turns to the line of scrimmage, up to 45, up close to midfield. Brought down on the play by Scott Chansky and Mike Ainsley.
Quincy, 2 successive plays in a row, getting around the corner relatively easily on North Quincy. I think North Quincy sitting back, concerned about Austin throwing the ball, playing a little, concentrating a little bit too much on the pass defense, and letting Quincy run against them here.
Ianello in the slot right, I formation, pitch, counter play, again Cottarelli tries to turn the corner, the 45, the 40, the 35, and he's bulldogged down inside the 35-yard line, brought down by David Lawless. Well, so far it's been the Joe Cottarelli show here.
Nice run by Cottarelli. He got through the hole and saw the opening on the outside, and he was on up to the races, except for a big play by Dave Lawless to catch him. Good running by Cottarelli.
Jimmy, I believe at that carry, he is now over 1,000 yards in his career. I set, handoff, Cottarelli in the backfield, gets by 2 tacklers, he meets 3 more. Ryan Craig leading the charge.
North Quincy in an all-out blitz that time. North Quincy gambling a little bit, figuring Austin's still going to throw the ball, and they blitzed their linebackers that time. Unfortunately for North, unfortunately for Quincy, they blitzed the linebackers right into the running play.
That play by North Quincy defense kind of reminded me of what you were looking for by the Quincy defense on the last drive by North Quincy. It's a counter play, reverse play to Ianello. He's got blockers on the left side. The 40 to 35, he slides down and out of bounds at about the 30-yard line. Clock is stopped.
Nice play by the Presidents and a big play by Kevin Segala that time to get back into it. He was blocked and he was out of the play. He got back up and forced the runner out of bounds to slow that play down for, well, it was still what, a 10, 15-yard gain.
I set 3rd and 4 for the Presidents. Austin, handoff. Oh, slipping at the line of scrimmage. Ryan Craig fell on him. Joe Cottarelli just lost his footing as he came up the line of scrimmage. 4th, and we'll call it 4th and 4 for the Presidents. And Quincy's going to take a timeout and talk things over. 3:11 left, 3rd quarter. Very big play here for Quincy.
And the brain trust is getting together here, both defense and offense. What's Jackie Raymer going to call? What's he going to do?
Let's go! Let's go! Let's go! On the roll! Sean! Get in the job. Who's in the ball? Go, Sean!
Coach Raymer just put in Sean Monroe as a wide receiver. Obviously going to be part of this play. Big play here. Obviously 4th and a long 4 for the Presidents. I think you can expect to see Austin put the ball up.
How about the look-in pattern to Gardner? Gardner goes to the left. Ryan goes to the right. Quincy looks a little confused here. Now Ianello lines up in the backfield. Now Ianello comes in motion. Austin back to pass, going right, looks, turns, look in, incomplete. Pass was thrown behind Billy Ryan. He made a great effort to try and catch it, but it is incomplete. The Red Raiders take over on downs.
Big pass rush that time by Mark Smith, too, just to force Austin to throw the ball just a split second than what he wanted to. And you got to put the North Quincy defense, they put some pressure on Austin that time, which made him throw the ball a little bit sooner. Well, they moved the ball, the Presidents. Now the question is, are they going to be able to stop the Red Raiders? The last time the Red Raiders had the ball, they just moved the ball right down the field.
Durgan, slot left, Happus wide left. Backs are split. Durgan in motion. Handoff, Lawless. Trying to get to the outside. Ducks inside of one tackler. Dives forward across the 35 to about the 36-yard line.
Still too much arm tackling for the Presidents, Roger. Gain of 7 on the first play. They can't give that kind of yardage. They're bending too much.
Zipkowska in on the tackle for Quincy.
They've got to be aggressive on defense. They have to come after North Quincy and force North into some mistakes. Fumbles, lost yardage.
McDougal wide right, back split. Slot is Durgan, handoff. Lawless, he's got a hole and a blocker. Across the 35, the 40. He's in midfield. Down the 45, 35, 30, 25. Touchdown, North Quincy!
Brian Durgan, big block by Brian Durgan to get the interference away, give Lawless the rub. You got to credit Brian Durgan on a big block in the entire offense line. Lawless had an enormous hole in that line that time. A counter play that the Presidents weren't expecting, and the blocking in the middle of the line, Timmy Kelly, Tank McNamara, excellent job up front there. North Quincy doing everything on the ground. Everything on the ground, just moving the ball consistently. Big play here. Obviously, 4th and a long 4 for the Presidents. I think you can expect to see Austin put the ball up.
How about the look-in pattern to Gardner? Gardner goes to the left. Ryan goes to the right. Quincy looks a little confused here. Now Iannello lines up in the backfield. Now Iannello comes in motion. Austin back to pass. Going right. Looks, turns, look in. Incomplete. Pass was thrown behind Billy Ryan. He made a great effort to try and catch it, but it is incomplete. The Red Raiders take over on downs.
Big pass rush that time by Mark Smith, too, just to force Austin to throw the ball just a split second than what he wanted to. And you got to put the North Quincy defense, they put some pressure on Austin that time, which made him throw the ball a little bit sooner. Well, they moved the ball, the Presidents. Now the question is, are they going to be able to stop the Red Raiders? The last time the Red Raiders had the ball, they just moved the ball right down the field.
Durgan, slot left, Happus wide left. Backs are split. Durgan in motion. Handoff, Lawless. Trying to get to the outside. Ducks inside of one tackler. Dives forward across the 35 to about the 36-yard line.
Still too much arm tackling for the Presidents, Roger. Gain of 7 on the first play. They can't give that kind of yardage. They're bending too much.
Zipkowska in on the tackle for Quincy.
They've got to be aggressive on defense. They have to come after North Quincy and force North into some mistakes. Fumbles, lost yardage.
McDougal wide right, back split. Slot is Durgan, handoff. Lawless, he's got a hole and a blocker. Across the 35, the 40. He's in midfield. Down the 45, 35, 30, 25. Touchdown, North Quincy!
Brian Durgan, big block by Brian Durgan to get the interference away, give Lawless the rub. You got to credit Brian Durgan on a big block in the entire offense line. Lawless had He had an enormous hole in that line that time. A counter play that the Presidents weren't expecting, and the blocking in the middle of the line. Timmy Kelly, Tank McNamara, excellent job up front there. North Quincy doing everything on the ground. Everything on the ground, just moving the ball consistently.
Unofficially, I got it at 62-yard run by Dave Lawless. Happus is wide right. In motion goes Lawless. Rolling right is Mulvey. It's out to Lawless. It's good. Right now, we got a rout on our hands. It's 24-0 North Quincy.
North Quincy offense just looking superb at this time. Well, the last two possessions, they just did whatever they wanted to do. Their offense is really putting it together. And they were improving all year long, but certainly this is the best their offense has looked.
And as we said earlier, fans, North Quincy has 10 returning starters coming back on offense, 7 on defense. Young ball club.
You know what I think may be taking its toll, Roger? At the beginning of the game, Quincy stopped them pretty good, but they did have that backfield where they had that Mark Smith, big 230-pound fullback, and Ryan Craig. And they were running the ball consistently, and Quincy was stopping them. But I think it may be to the point where North has worn them down a little bit, and they just they've out-hit Quincy, and Quincy is certainly doesn't have the crispness that they had at the start of the game.
Cottarelli back deep, Iannello to his left, and Johnny Bogan to his right. All right, Kelly, his foot into the ball, line drive kick, off Cottarelli, bounding around, Iannello has to basically fall on it. A lot of hitting going on now. Quincy's got the ball, but their backs are up against the wall. They need 3 scores, 3 two-point conversions to tie.
North Quincy's defense here sitting in a big advantage, knowing that they can gamble a little bit, and I think you're going to see them gambling with their linebackers blitzing, and even their defensive backs going for the ball when it goes up in the air.
Ryan comes to the right, in motion, Iannello. Back to pass. Going to the outside. It's complete. Nice catch by Iannello. Jansky was all over him. But Iannello, great concentration, pulls it down.
Yeah, it's not Jansky going for the ball, going for the interception. Again, gambling a little bit, but great concentration by Iannello to bring that ball in. And Quincy going to be putting the ball up in the air, obviously, at this time. He'll bring up a second, and we'll call it a long one. On set, behind Austin. He pitches. Cottarelli fumbles the ball. North Quincy's recovered.
Recovering the ball for North Quincy, Tommy Nolan. The first hit he took of the day was when he got up and one of his teammates headbutted him to the ground.
North Quincy again blitzing their linebackers, and that caused enough confusion in the Quincy offensive backfield to cause that miscue.
Happus right. In motion, Vin Capone. Handoff. Second back is McCormick. Good to see him back. Looked like he had a serious knee injury coming off. In on the tackle, Dennis DeCoste for Quincy.
Nice play by DeCoste and so forth, but I'm surprised that Quincy is not blitzing their linebackers or sending their linebackers and trying to cause something to happen, trying to cause a problem in the North Quincy backfield. North's been doing it all game long, and they've caused a couple of fumbles and a couple of miscues.
Penalty against the Red Raiders. Holding.
Offense. First down. First down.
Happus comes to the left. Capone and Ryan Craig are in the backfield. Handoff, Capone trying to go around right end. He's stacked up out there on the left side by Rob Cabezas.
Good play by Cabezas. He's getting aggressive. He came across that line of scrimmage as soon as the ball was snapped. And that's what the line, and he's a defensive back, I think. And that's what the Presidents are going to have to do. Attack him. You've got nothing to lose at this point, fellas. Go right after him.
Brings up 2nd and 22. Counter play. Durgan, fumble on the play. The Presidents have recovered. Ryan Durgan coming around left tackle. Took a lot of hits. It looked like Quincy was going for the ball. And recovered the ball. I set. Austin, what a hit! Great hit. Tommy Dolan. He almost got the handoff himself.
And that's the aggressive defense that North has been doing all day long, getting people into Quincy's backfield.
Iannello to the right. Ryan to the right. Wide left is Gardner. Backs are split. They won't get the playoff. Quincy should have hurried up a little bit more. We go to the 4th quarter. The score after 3 of the North Quincy Red Raiders 24, the Quincy Presidents nothing.
Hi, I'm Mark Goodman from MTV, here to tell you about something important. Unfortunately, today over 40 million Americans are functionally illiterate. To help raise awareness for this problem, American Cable Systems is sponsoring a Reading is All American campaign and encouraging people to pick up a book and read, even if it's only for 15 minutes a day. Now, you can further help by donating books, funds, or by volunteering time. Just contact American Cable Systems for details. And remember, reading is all American.
Backs are split behind Austin. Back to pass goes Steve Austin. He's looking long, down the middle, trying to get Iannello. Broken up by Shansky on a great defensive play.
Austin, plenty of time to throw that ball in here. That ball is going to be right in Iannello's hands, but Shansky, we said earlier, excellent defensive back, just in time, deflected the ball. Big play by North Quincy.
Third and 12 for Quincy. Ryan is wide right, backs are split, Iannello goes in motion. Down the middle, complete. Ryan breaks 2 tackles. He's at the 40, the 35, the 30, the 25. Scott Shansky brings him down from behind. He fumbles on the play. fumble deep in North Quincy territory, but it looked, at least from up here, that the ground would have caused the fumble and not necessarily the hit.
Big play by Scott Chansky. Again, Quincy receiver all the way ahead was end zone in front of him. Chansky coming from behind to catch him, not only catching him, but stripped the ball from him as he was on his way down and fumbled the ball. North Quincy coming up with a great big defensive play thanks to Scott Chansky.
All right, North Quincy will take over on the 7-yard line. Great play by Ryan as he broke the tackles in midfield and then just ran it. Here comes McCormick. He breaks into the secondary. Chris Mackey in on the tackle for Quincy. First down for North Quincy.
North Quincy immediately coming out with a running game, another big gainer.
You wouldn't get a shot at him now? They do it Monday night.
Body, wide right. Handoff, up the middle.
Yeah.
McCormick. Not much of a gain. Eastwick in on the tackle for Quincy.
Mike Eastwick penetrating that North Quincy offensive line and causing a mix-up in the backfield, and that's what they've got to get out of Quincy's on the defense. Somebody's got to get through that backfield, and that's what's going to happen when you do it.
No gain on the play. Brings up second down at 10. McDougal wide left. Then Capone slot left. He comes in motion. Handoff McCormick. Turns the corner. Cabezas in on the tackle again for Quincy.
Nice aggressive tackle by Cabezas too. He went after the ball carrier, and that's what you got to do. Don't wait for the ball carrier to come to you. Go after him. And he's been doing it all afternoon.
Pick up 5 on the play. We'll bring up a 3rd and 5. Big one for Quincy here. They have to stop him. No question about it. Brings up Durgan, slot right. Set behind Mulvey. Handoff to the up back. That's Ryan Craig. And he gets up close to the first down. First down.
There it is. North Quincy offensive line doing a yeoman's job. Just tremendous job at opening up those holes. Their ground game has been outstanding today. Quincy has yet to stop him this half. Quincy has not stopped him on downs once. And North is just attacking him from every point, moving the ball very consistently on the ground.
Eight minutes, 33 seconds remaining. North Quincy totally in command, 24-0 with the ball, 1st and 10. And some of the disgruntled Quincy patrons start to leave. Evidently, they've seen enough.
And to give the North Quincy offensive line an awful lot of credit, Roger. Boy, they've done a tremendous job in controlling the line of scrimmage and basically controlling the game, especially the second half.
All right, body wide left. Slot is McCormick. Check that, it's Vic Capone. He's in motion. Hand off to McCormick. Flags are down. McCormick dives forward about the 38-yard line, but I got a feeling the play's going to be called back.
Holding call against the Red Raiders. But that, again...
Holding! Offense! First down!
And Tank McNamara, the first time he's been in 8 games, and certainly his presence has been felt. And Brian Campbell, the whole offensive line all the way down the line. Excellent job.
High set, handoff, another flag down. That's Smith rambling through. Brought down by Cabezas.
North Quincy had a double team in the nose tackle that time, and I did another flag down for holding. But that double team just blew away the Quincy nose guard that time, opened up a big hole in the middle. And here it is, the officials again with the flags.
Holding! Offense! We close! Second down!
Pappas checks into the game. He comes wide right. Durgan is in a slot left. Backs is setting an eye. Pitch to the deep back, McCormick. Trying to turn the corner. Gets across the 30 up to about the 34, 35-yard line where Steve Gardner brings him down. Clock counting with 7:40 to go here in the ball game.
Quincy blitzing their linebackers that time, getting a little more aggressive on defense. I think it's a little bit too late. They should have started it a long time ago.
Another flag thrown late.
Another flag against North Quincy. Words exchanged against the officials. Unsportsmanlike conduct against the Red Raiders.
Well, it's kind of stupid. They got a 24-0 lead. It stops the clock.
It stops the clock, and they just had the opportunity to get the ball down the way they've been moving it. This puts it.
Unsportsmanlike conduct foul! The ball! Third down!
Yeah, we're going to call about 3rd and 20.
Mine's not on anymore, is it? Huh? Mine's not anymore, is it?
3 penalties in that one series. One of them was declined.
How's mine?
McDougal to the left. Durgan, slot right. Back set again, in an eye. Looked like offsides on the left guard. Or tackle. Illegal motion. Another penalty. And this is what we saw North Quincy doing earlier in the year. They looked good offensively, but they needed 5 or 6 penalties.
Control, especially the second half. Their offense, so the penalties really hurt them, and obviously they're hurting them again this time. It's now 3rd and 25.
Clock's down to 7:02. Pappas wide left. Backs again in an eye. Mulvey. Handoff. First back to Smith. Big hole. Rambling through. Cross the 30 to the 33-yard line. He must look like a decent.
Those defensive backs certainly aren't too thrilled to see him break through the line with a hole that big, too.
You notice how those defensive backs get down low. No sense tackling up high. Gain on the play of about 15. It'll bring up 4th and 10.
And the clock still winding down.
Quincy looks down.
Went nowhere on that series, but they ate up about 6 minutes on the clock.
Mackey and Iannello were back deep. The punt just barely away. It's a good roll, and North Quincy will down it. Paul Moody downs the ball inside the 40-yard line. That's where the Presidents will take over. 1st and 10. 6:02 remaining here in the game.
Quincy, a very capable team to move the ball on offense, really hasn't had the ball that much this second half, and that's a credit to the North Quincy defense as well as their offense to control the ball like that. Now that Quincy does have the ball, they're forced to put the ball up in the air, and their options are limited. They have to move the ball quickly, which gives the North Quincy defense a big advantage.
All right, Billy Ryan is wide right. Iannello slot right. In motion comes Cottarelli, or Bogan, that is. Check that. Pass down over the middle. It is complete to Ryan. The same play he broke last time all the way down to the 7-yard line. You know, that would have been a very big play. Pacino in on the tackle for North Quincy. If they would have scored at that point, that would have been a quick score. Right back on the board, a lot of momentum. Might have tried an onside kick. That was a big turning point in the game, and I question whether or not they were really.
Yeah, I think he was on his way down, or he was down. Now, remember, in high school, once his knee hits the ground, the play is dead.
And the ground can
Exactly.
an injured player down on the field at about the 35-yard line.
He'll be looking at that play over and over again on the films, I'm sure, as far as that fumble goes. I don't think the ground caused the fumble. But the point is if his knee was down before the ball was loose, it shouldn't have been a fumble. Chansky was behind him by 5 yards. Chansky made a great play on that play to come up and catch him, though. Ryan had a 5-yard head start. Chansky caught him and came up and stripped the ball from him. Big play by Scott Chansky.
Jeff Sprague is the injured player, being carried off by a couple of his teammates. And it looks like a right leg problem.
He's been having trouble with his knees all year long.
So Quincy has the ball on the North Quincy 45-yard line. 5:54 remaining, and time so valuable that Quincy's almost forced to put it up every down here. Just in case they don't complete it, they stop the clock immediately. Austin now tells Gardner to go wide left. Back to pass, straight back. Steps up. Austin looking, throws it long and short. It is intercepted. Paul Moody with the interception. And a fight breaks out in midfield. Flags are down, and the boys are having fun.
Few players starting it all. I can't see a thing, Roger. I don't know who's involved there, but
Happy Thanksgiving to you and yours. I'm just glad none of the fans got into it. One of the Quincy people, the police are escorting off the field. They're calling the game?
I don't think so. I haven't seen anything from the officials
North
yet.
Quincy's rolling off the field.
North Quincy is going off the field. Could be a move by Kenny McPhee just to calm the kids down and tell them, listen, we're here to win a game, and we got the game won. Let's not get stupid and foolish and do anything to disrupt that.
Now, Jackie Raymer and Steve Austin are going at it on the 45-yard line.
I'd be very surprised. Yeah, I think Kenny McPhee just got a good move by Kenny. You got to give him a lot of credit. Brought his team off the field, got them all together. He's telling them a few things. He's smartening them up. Fellas, let's go. We got to win the game here. I think it's a smart move by Kenny. Get them out there. They're going to come out. They're going to have the crowd on their side, and they're going to be ready to play. Smart move by Kenny.
All right, the captains of Quincy are meeting, and they're going to come out with the captains of North Quincy.
like somebody?
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's really kind of foolish, Roger, with all the equipment on and the helmets. There's not a lot you can do to each other. I mean, it's you think hurt your hand and hurt your thing. But it's all emotions is what it is more than anything else. And I'm glad to see that nobody came out injured because more than anything else, people could get stepped on in a big crowd like that and trampled on, and that'd be more cause of an injury than it would be any kind of a hit.
Here come the Red Raiders back.
Officials taking their time, trying to calm things down too, which is a wise move. Rather than get the game going right away and say, all right, let's go, let's start the play. They're talking it over, getting everybody to get their heads back into the game, relaxed a little bit, so they can continue with 5:23 left in the game.
Mike Donato is the head referee out there, and he's the one that's giving the severe reprimand to coaches and captains. Marty Finnegan just walked out there.
I like to see a replay on that and see exactly where it started and so forth, but it kind of just mushroomed and it takes out the frustrations on both sides.
It looked like it started on a trailing the play on about the 50-yard line, and then it just ballooned into about another dozen fights all over the place. Well, the long delay is so...
Unsportsmanlike conduct! Offense! Unsportsmanlike conduct! Defense! Okay, first down! Offense here!
Yeah. Sportsmanlike penalties against both teams, which really doesn't mean anything.
Well, I'm sure if you're wearing blue and white today, you're very convinced that North Quincy started it. And then again, if you're wearing red and black, you're convinced that Quincy started it. So the official obviously penalizing both teams, which means nobody gets penalized. And
they got a stretcher out here at the Quincy. And that's for
Sprague.
Jeff Sprague. I'm sorry to see that.
He's had a lot of trouble with his knees before, and I'm sure this is what it is. Again, he came up, they helped him off.
All the action stopped with 5 minutes and 23 seconds remaining in the game. North Quincy's on top, 24-0.
Got to give the officials some credit, Roger. I think they did a good job of breaking that up. It could have gone a lot longer, but all four officials got right in the middle of it. They did. They got right in the middle of it, did everything they could to break it down, and then they caused this long delay to make things as smooth as possible.
Mulvey brings his team out. Check it. It's fourth and... Wait a minute. It's 1st and 10. North Quincy. Now everybody seems to be a little bit confused. Now it's announced by Charlie Jerk that it is a 1st and 10 for the North Quincy Red Raiders.
Yeah, all the trouble happened after the interception. Yeah, well, they had the interception, and it was downfield. It was the two linemen down where Boston had released the ball that all the problem started.
All right, body goes left. Handoff, Lawless. He's not much gain.
And not much hitting on that play either.
Jimmy Feely brought him down. 2nd And a gain of 3. We'll call it 2nd and 7.
North Quincy going to be very content in just keeping the ball on the ground and moving it.
Any first down at all, North Quincy can pretty much end this. Pappas wide left. Durgan in motion. Handoff, Lawless. Trying to turn the corner, trying to dance. And well pursued. Brought down on the tackle by Bjork and Cabezas.
Good example in that play, though, Roger. Quincy brought him down for a loss, but he was out there dancing. Nobody stuck him. They tackled him. They brought him down to the ground, but nobody went in it. Nobody from Quincy had the desire to go in there and give him a good stick or a good hit. And this is when they should be. They got frustrations to take it out. Take it out on the ball carrier. Give him a stick. Give him a hit.
McDougal wide left. Handoff right up the middle. Ryan still on his feet. Broke 3 or 4 tackles. Gets all the ball all the way up to about the 44-yard line. Finally brought down by Greg Doughton.
Perfect example again. Nobody giving Ryan Craig a stick. Nobody hitting him. They're just trying to arm tackle him, bring him down to the ground. Ryan Craig's not going to go down like that. Ryan Craig kept his legs pumping and went on some good yardage. And Quincy's going to have to give him some good sticks in order to stop it, but kind of late now.
A lot of hitting going on underneath the grandstand.
Quincy with their second unit in. Raj, you can announce this one.
Handoff, good stick there. Peck with the ball. Not much of a gain. Bob Silva in at quarterback. Pekarsky in on the tackle for Quincy. Back split behind Silva. Handoff. Mendez. Maybe back to the original line of scrimmage. That's about it.
Steve Pekarsky in on another play. But it's a promising day for North Quincy, Roger. Again, 11 of that offensive line that moved the ball. North Quincy that time a little bit confused. Too many men in the field because they've got all their substitutes in. And they're a little confused at this time. But boy, North Quincy looks good for next year. 11. I mean, 10 out of that 11 offensive players are coming back. And that offense is what made the difference. Certainly the second half, they came out and controlled the game.
Clock stopped with 2:17 to go.
You're going to be missing Timmy Kelly and Tommy Dolan in that offensive line. Other than that, they're all going to be back.
Well, bear with us here. We got multiple substitutions. Bob Silva's the quarterback. In motion, tentatively, was Mark Lunan. He gets the handoff, gets back to the original line of scrimmage. His movement was backwards, so there was no illegal procedure. That'll bring up 4th and 8 with less than 2 minutes to go, and Quincy's going to get the ball.
Quincy offense kind of walking out onto the field. Only at 1:30 it's left. They still should have enough snap to come out there and say, let's put 7 on the board or 6 on the board. Timeout for North Quincy. Again, they're putting in a lot of substitutes on defense, and they want to make sure everything is straightened out, ironed out.
Well, while we got this opportunity, Jim, I'd like to publicly congratulate you and your successful volleyball season, along with the Quincy Presidents. Made it all the way to Chelmsford. Great seasons for both schools, and an exciting volleyball season.
Yeah, both North Quincy and Quincy High School. Actually, the city of Quincy in general should be proud of the volleyball that's played here. Two of the finest teams in the state out of the same Quincy. It's really it's exciting, and a lot of good matches between them in the years to come.
And like Kenny McPhee, returning a lot of lettermen, so are you.
Yeah, we're returning all our starters, which we're looking forward to a good volleyball season next year. And Quincy's strong too. It's certainly a strong athletic program in the city. And
Austin back to pass. He's looking long, going for Ryan, deep down the sidelines. Oh, through his hands and incomplete. The defensive coverage back there was Dave Carter, and Dave just kind of waved his hand at the ball, which might have distracted Ryan a little bit. But I'll tell you, Austin put it right on the money.
Exactly. I think it was Doug Noonan that came by and caused a distraction but that ball was there, and Austin is capable of throwing it. He had the time to throw it, and close to 6 for the Presidents. Fingertips away.
Mark Mealy comes to the left. Ryan slot left. And here comes Austin. He's back to pass again. He's trying to look long. He tucks it in, goes down the sidelines. And he's bulldogged out of bounds. Flaherty in on the tackle, among a couple others. Clock stops. But it's a first down for Quincy.
That's the one thing I would like to have seen Austin do a little bit more over the course of the year, is run the ball like that. He's certainly a capable runner.
Mealy wide right. Austin slot medium right. It's a screen over the middle. It is complete. Bogan pulling his way down. Down close to the 25-yard line. Clock down to 1:02. Quincy on the move.
Tackle made that time by Phil Travers in North Quincy. Nice execution on that play by the Presidents.
A roughing the passer penalty against North Quincy will probably is declined. They'll take the yardage. Austin brings his team out. He's going to roll right, looking to pass. He's got a man open. It's INL at the 10, at the 5. Touchdown, Quincy, with 44 seconds to go.
Not surprised to see Iannello in the end zone at the end of an Austin pass, but I am surprised to see that it happened in the last 43 seconds of the game, Roger. I thought it would have happened a lot sooner than that. That was their bread and butter play all year long, and this is the first time that really they beat North Quincy with it today.
24-6 the score. I don't think Quincy has much of a choice here. One-point conversion. Flags are down. Kick is up. It is good. penalty will back him up 5 yards. Evidently, it was before the kick. That'll make the PAT just a little bit longer. Ferrand is the kicker. Snaps down. It's up. It is. It's good. And the score, with 43 seconds remaining here in the game, is North Quincy 24, Quincy 7.
Well, you look back, Roger, and that fumble looks bigger and bigger all the time. A play where Quincy could have been on the scoreboard. And instead, North Quincy comes up with the fumble and not only stops the score, but continues to control the ball in that quarter. With that score then, it certainly would have been a much closer game, and that's what certainly we predicted, and I think everybody thought. North Quincy's offense caught us all a little bit by surprise, I think. I'm sure they were capable of doing it, but they really did dominate, and I was very impressed with them. In football, they say it's whoever controls the line of scrimmage, and I think it was obvious today that that North Quincy offensive line did control that line of scrimmage and opened up some big holes for their running backs. And with the exception of one drive with all those penalties, North Quincy played mistake-free, which is the first time they've really done that.
McCormick's the only one back. Obviously, McPhee guarding against the onside kick. A lot of sure-handed players up within 5-6 yards of the ball. The kick, Teddy Stevenson has it, and he's down.
Nice hands and nice play by Stevenson. Had his knees on the ground, so as soon as he caught the ball, had control of the ball, the play was dead. No chance of a fumble. You want to set up that North Quincy offense for us, Roger? And
well, once you get the linemen, I get the backs. Mullen is the deep back. Silva goes back 2 yards and puts his knee down on the ground.
North Quincy, too many men in the field. They had two fullbacks.
Is that fair?
No.
Oh, okay.
But they were playing like they had two all day with that, with the blocking.
They had Smith.
Yeah, that's two. Well, both Smith and Ryan Craig, the two, though.
He plays so hard.
Okay. Second down. His key blocks when Lawless had his big gains. And McCormick had their big gains.
All right, clock's counting down. 30 seconds to go here in the game. And Silva not taking any chances. One step and a genuflex. Where? Mike Curtin has just checked into the game.
Kenny McPhee just had Gatorade dumped all over him. That's going to be...
Oh, there's another one.
There's
Kohler just went. That's going to be the end of the game. Water all over, and everybody's happy on the North Quincy side of town. For the first time since I've been doing these games, Kenny McPhee is victorious over Jackie Raymer. The final score here on 1986 Turkey Day is the North Quincy Red Raiders 24, Quincy 7. And a beautiful morning and early afternoon here for high school football.
Well, North Quincy, again, I just have to keep saying it. That offensive line took control, and they all deserve a great deal of credit. They won that game for the Red Raiders today. Congratulations to the North Quincy offensive line and the entire North Quincy team.
Well, we'll run down the scoring for you here very quickly. Basically all North Quincy, as North Quincy scored in the second quarter with 10:53 remaining on a safety. Hogan tackling the running back in the end zone, getting the 2 points, and North Quincy was on top. Then with 4:50 to go in the first half, a 3-yard run by McCormick, 2-point conversion, Mulvey to McDougal, made it 10-0. In the third quarter, with 5:38 remaining, a 1-yard dive by Dave Lawless, 2-point conversion was no good, and the score 16-0, North Quincy. Then in the third quarter, with 2:17 to go, a 62-yard run by Dave Lawless, 2-point conversion, Mulvey to Lawless, made it 24-0, and then with 44 seconds remaining, Austin to Ionello, a 23-yard pass was good for the touchdown, and Quincy was on the board. The point after touchdown by Ferran made it a final of 24-7. For everybody here at Quincy Cable Systems, we want to wish you a very happy Thanksgiving. For Jim Rendell, I'm Roger Holman. Once again, the final score here at Veterans Stadium was North Quincy 24, Quincy 7.